Check it out. I actually found it. I went rummaging through an old, what you call it? One second, let's see if I can use this finger to hold the end of it. It's slowly working, bear with me. There. She's sliding out. I found it. I don't have really much anything at all left of my toy collecting days. Call it providence, serendipity, that of all comics that I would still have left. Red Sun Superman. Like I said, it's something that I've been aware of for a long time. However, I'm not here to talk to you about Red Sun Superman. I'm sure it's just going to be a few minutes before Google YouTube's racist, misogynist, either human or algorithm will delete the last video, whistleblowing. And so I guess I'll only have one video uploaded today. Probably won't be three, only be the one. So as the world it is embroiled in so much chaos, I wanted to just say something that would hopefully impart a little wisdom. Um, I'm I don't know if I'd say that I'm pro or anti riot. When you've been abused as bad as I have, you definitely begin to understand the merits of violence, just like Data and Picard spoke about. We're not violent by nature. We don't want to be. Just so often you leave us with no other choice. That said, and in the spirit of Red Sun Superman, meaning persons of great power and authority doing what they think is actually right. They're not actually trying to hurt you. They're trying to do what they feel is best. And it is true. So many law enforcement officers, the vast majority of them, they do fall within that category, and quite often they don't always get it right. I was watching some riot footage earlier today, and dare I say, I guess I'll count it as progress. A looter, violent protester, was being detained, prone position, face down, being arrested. Two officers were applying the handcuffs, and yes, his right knee was on the lower back of his neck, and his fellow officer reached over and grabbed his knee and, yanked it and pulled it off. So we definitely can see that there's a lot of muscle memory that's been taught to these officers that lead to a lot of fatal interactions. So yes, I guess training. We're talking about a training, a retraining, a reprogramming, to use a Trump phrase, the likes of which you've never seen before. But yeah, it's going to have to be a reprogramming that goes back decades, even before these officers were even alive. Um, I'm going to close this. This isn't going to be a long episode at all. I want to talk about a particular police officer. Hold on while I just kind of slide over and prop my arm up thusly. There, good. um, police officer, former police officer, Captain Joseph Bruno. He was my SORA certification officer. He worked for a number of different police departments, from what I understand. SORA, I forget what the letters stand for, SORA. It's one of those, it was one of the bullshit fallouts from 9/11. Oh, we need our security officers certified. And so for your corporate blunders, once again, we little people had to pay for that because you had to pay for your certification stuff. And anyway, so there I am in Captain Bruno's class, getting recertified. I think this was a recertification. And we got to talking. This was, yes, matter of fact, it was right after Eric Garner had been killed by police. And not to my surprise, Captain Bruno pretty much echoed what all the cops were saying. If you can talk, then you can breathe. And now, before you start working yourself up into a froth over Captain Bruno, to give him the third degree, my God, as the class went on, Captain Bruno also certified us in CPR, and one of the things that kind of caught me off guard, Captain Bruno talked about, one of the things he said about the importance of the face shield of your CPR kit, face shield for giving mouth to mouth. He said that if you pump enough air down there, then something's coming back up. Yes, Captain Bruno has indeed in the past had the great misfortune of having a person whom he was trying to save expel into his mouth. So the importance of the face mask. Just think about that for a moment. Cook on that, lament on that. Uh, like an hour prior, this was a police officer saying that if you can talk, you can breathe. And then here we are looking at this police officer willing to work so feverishly on you, even if it means you puking in his mouth. I'll let you draw your own conclusions to that. One of the things that I want to caution our Black community over: be careful you don't unleash an army of blue genies on the nation. If you're familiar with the folklore of a genie gives you exactly what you asked for, no more, no less. Be very careful what you ask for in the coming weeks, okay? Because right now, the urban Black community has summoned forth the four corners of the wind, a great tempest of urban Black power. This thing goes around the globe. I've seen the protests. My God, they're everywhere. Be very careful what you ask for, okay? Because you might just end up with an army of blue genies, these men and women in blue who your child has just been shot, maybe with a little bit more physical effort. They could have physically detained the person who shot and killed them, but and of course this of course you're going to have police officers that would use such a conundrum, a thinking, a reality, as a means of working racism. How do you police racism? How do you because ultimately it comes down to the person's character. You really can't write a book, because you can't write a book that's going to encompass every last single possible scenario. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. So all four of those police officers need to be arrested and charged. They need to be given a fair trial in accordance with the law. You have a great deal of power at your fingertips right now, Black America. Be very careful with what you do with it. Don't let that power corrupt you, and don't let it send you down a dark, ominous path. This is why the police problem is this bad. They have so much power. The corrupting of power isn't limited to a race or a profession or a gender. Don't let your power corrupt you. Use it wisely. All right, that's pretty much it. Careful what you wish for, because believe me, when this thing is all over, these police officers, they're going to give you exactly what you asked for. Total Control 871.